Hello, my name is Rick.
Ciao, my name's Millie.
And this is episode 23
23.
of season 2
Due.
of
Yonks Ago.
This is Yonks Ago, coming into your ears. Now what are yonks? They're kinda like years. Just a father and a daughter who want to know all about some people from Yonks Ago. Interesting people who did interesting stuff, but about whom we don't know enough. So we're gonna dig deep and find it all out. Yonky doodlers know what we're all about. Yonks Ago, hey, ho, hey, Yonks Ago, hey, ho, hey, surely. This is episode 23.
Yes.
I know. Just soldiering along, gathering pace and momentum.
Yeah.
And we are recording on a Tuesday.
Yeah, again.
For those who are playing at home, we're recording on a Tuesday, but not in the evening.
No.
Not even late afternoon.
No.
I'd say early afternoon.
Yeah, I would as well.
How do these things happen? I'll tell you how. You've got to the point in your life in the year where you're not at school.
No.
Your school year's
School's out. Let's show it.
finito. They've said, you know what, you've learned enough
Yes.
for this year. We don't want to cram any more into your head.
Nah.
Take it easy, bro. You've probably got things to do, podcasts to record,
Yep.
couches to sit on,
Exactly.
life to enjoy. And
True.
they've said, go, be free.
Leave.
Yeah. And
Leave
so
now.
as of last Friday, I guess, was your last day,
Yeah.
you're just a summer holiday mode.
I'm a free woman.
And so Tuesday afternoon, early afternoon, you're welcome. Let's see how it goes. I don't
Yeah.
know. I should keep a spreadsheet of when we record, how I feel about the record.
Yeah. I think we should.
How I feel about the record when I listen back to it.
Yeah.
I should have some graphs, some charts.
I think you were pretty excited about this one because I was just chilling in the lounge and doing some homework.
Yeah.
Dad comes in, he goes, "You ready to record? Get around it." And I'm like, "All right, yep."
It's just a classic call to arms. And
Get amongst it.
Yeah, get amongst it. Which is probably more what I said. I'm sure that's what I said. Get around
Yeah.
it doesn't sound right.
No, that's
You get around someone.
I say get around it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you say get amongst it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like to be around something. I like to be amongst something. We've all got our own preferred ways.
I don't like to be amongst. That's too involved. I like to just be on the outside.
Yeah.
Like get around it.
You
like,
just sound like
around
you're
the outside, around the perimeter.
Get near it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, we've all got our own way, our own call to arms, our own call to action.
Yeah.
But whatever our call to action is, we've both made our way to the kitchen.
Yep.
look-
Just a short walk.
Yeah. And you know what's good about it? It's got the house to ourselves.
Yeah.
Everyone else has got things to do.
Ha! Sucked in little sisters at school.
So look, it's probably, I'm going to say there's never been a better time to podcast.
No, I don't think so. Is this your favorite? Is this going to be your favorite podcast that you've ever done?
Oh, yeah, I'm calling it early, which is definitely going to jinx it
Yeah.
and make it the worst record we've ever done.
Yeah.
But I like putting pressure on myself.
Yeah.
I like to get amongst it.
Do you? Yeah. Well, personally, I really liked episode 22.
There you go.
Yeah, I really liked it.
That
Just
was
everything came together.
Yeah.
The number gods.
Yeah.
Were there with us on that day.
And you know, as I pointed this out to Millie, I got in the car the next day, and my odometer in the car was at 222,020.
Yeah.
So it
Almost
wasn't perfect.
perfect.
Yeah, it was almost all the twos, but all the numbers were twos.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a 2, it was a 0. So
Yeah.
and
Zero's not a number.
it's
0 is
an absence of number.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So all of the numbers there were 2s.
Exactly.
What are the chances?
Literally none.
And then I was like, well, I need to definitely pay attention to when it gets
what-
to all 2s.
Have you seen what it's?
It's been,
at the
I missed
moment?
it.
Oh.
Because we ended up having a long drive. We drove up.
Yeah,
we drove.
true.
We drove up. Yeah, we drove up.
We did drive up.
Yeah, we did some droving. I had a big long drove on the weekend. We went up into rural Victoria, and along that drive, I'm sad to say, I ticked over 220,222. I didn't take a photo of it.
No.
It wasn't until I was about 60 kilometres over it that I went, I forgot all about it. So look, sometimes the fates give, sometimes the fates take away. It's what you do with these advantages and setbacks that defines you as a person. Lock that in.
Did you just say defined?
defines.
They said that defined you as a person. I was like, all right.
Millie, always on the lookout for some sort of vocal slip up, and in a medium where all we are is voices.
I was very confused. It caught me off guard.
It got you more excited than you've ever been. You're like, did Dad say something wrong again? Someone better call him out on it. I'm the only one left in the house.
It's because I feel bad after not calling you out on Egyptian tone. So I gotta.
No, you gotta let that stuff slide, man.
I gotta make up for it.
It's even more satisfying if I don't get pulled up and I just realize on my own later on, and just so that the shame can just sink in, all on my own. I think that's the most biting form of attack. Is just if you realize I've said something wrong, you just wait.
Yeah,
just wait. Speaking of waiting, we should wait no longer before we dive into the Nancy Wake story. Because
Nancy, wait.
Nancy, wait.
Yeah, don't wait.
Nancy, don't wait for no one.
No.
She's got things to do. Because look, throughout 1940 and 1941, Nancy continued her courier work. Her courier work for Commander Bush.
Yeah.
So that's with the French resistance.
Yeah.
She was loving the courier work. Now, Commander Bush, he'd started going by he'd taken up a fake name.
Oh, nice.
Which is a sensible move when you're in the resistance. He chose Xavier. Had to call him Xavier. He's like, don't call me Commander Bush. Don't call me Bushy. Don't call me Bushwhacker. Any of your nicknames you've got for me. Amuse Bush. Don't call me that. You can only call me Xavier.
Yeah.
Feel free to call me X-Man. Feel free to call me the Xavinator.
The Xavinator. I like that one.
But he's like, that's it. Only Xavier or Xavier-related names is all I'm going by now. And Nancy Wake's like, no worries. And then two of Xavier's comrades in the resistance movement were in danger of being exposed and arrested.
No.
And so Xavier, the X Factor, comes to Nancy Wake. Yeah. He's like, we need some help. Got to get these friends out of here. And Nancy Wake is like, no worries. You've come to the right Nancy. And she helps spirit them away to the home of a doctor friend of theirs that was living in the mountains. And then shortly afterwards, they went to stay in a chalet near Navash.
There you go.
Don't know where that is.
No.
This chalet, she'd kept this under wraps. This hasn't made it into the story so far. Oh. This was a chalet that Henri had given to Nancy as a wedding present.
Ooh.
Oh. Little bit. I think we're starting to get a sense of just how much cash is running through the Henri slush fund. All right? He's like,
bro, what does he get up to?
Don't ask questions. But all I'm saying is, when they got married, Henri's like, come for a drive. So they went for a drive. He's like, oh, look, my odometer's on 222,222. You'd have to be an idiot not to notice that. And then they drove for a while and they parked the car and he said, close your eyes, Nancy. Close your eyes. And she's like, I love surprises. So she closed her eyes. He leads her for a little walk down a path and he says, okay, Nancy, open your eyes. There's a bloody chalet.
Oh, I thought it was the ambulance you wanted.
No, there's a bloody chalet. I'm thinking it's like at least 2 stories.
Yeah, sure.
Nestled at the foot of a snow-topped mountain.
2 stories because 2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Tootly. And she's gone, oh, did you hire us a fancy chalet for the weekend for our honeymoon? And he's gone, oh, yeah, that would have been more cost effective. Oh, I wish I thought of that. No, I bought the whole thing. Happy wedding. It's yours. They call it Nancy's Chalet. And she's like, it's nice, but where's my truck? Because this was before he got the truck. So that's the kind of stuff Henri's got up to. So no wonder he's happy to fund the resistance. Yeah. He's got heaps of cash.
Where's it all coming from?
Anyway, but now they're using the chalet. They've used it to help get these people, these resistance fighters out of there because they were in danger. Yeah. And this is just, now everyone's like, Nancy gets stuff done.
Yeah, bro.
All right, we had a problem. Nancy solved it.
Well, there you go.
And so in the space of only 6 short months this has all taken place in. Nancy has gone from being just a lady of leisure, sitting by the pool with
chill.
Michelin and Andre, getting them cocktails. Then she turned into an ambulance driver, ambulance wake, and then she has become a significant operator for both the French and British anti-Nazi movements in France.
Yeah.
All right. She's climbing up the resistance ladder.
Bro, she's like almost at the top, not even going to lie.
But of course, this has occasioned significant danger for her, and because she could be arrested and at best imprisoned at any moment.
Yeah.
But to sort of offset this is why she continued to keep up the this sort of Madame Fiocca, the Fancy Nancy facade.
Yeah.
The social butterfly. So she's kept that up to sort of throw anyone off the scent. She's like as if bloody Fancy Nancy's going to be working for the resistance. She's too busy sipping them cocktails by the pool and throwing dinner parties, y'all, and butchering pigs for fun.
Yeah.
And so she's continued to have conspicuously frivolous lunches in town with girlfriends. Yep. She's attending functions at night.
Nice.
She's promenading with her little dog. She's got like a little dog.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And she's going out at nights for walking the fancy little dog. Always dressed in her finery.
But the dog is actually a robot. And inside is a radio.
Yeah, it's a radio dog. And she acts like she hasn't got a care in the world. So she's got this
she's just chilling with all her cash.
Yeah, and like so no one pays her no mind. No one's like, it's Nancy Wake, keep an eye on her.
But she's just a woman. Yes. She can't do much.
Yes, but by this time, following in the X-Man's the X-Man's footsteps, she's forged her own identity papers.
Ooh.
Exactly right. She's got a cover story for her undercover work.
Nice.
So her secret identity now is Madame...
And with an E.
Should be, but... no, it's not. It's Mademoiselle, unmarried, Mademoiselle Lucienne Carlier.
Ooh.
A secretary to a doctor. And her false identity papers... they're like essential for her when she's traveling because everywhere you go, you got to go through checkpoints. They check your identity papers, and her actual ones, her Nancy Wake identity papers, identify her as a British subject, British citizen, which means you're automatically, suspicious. Yeah, that people ain't going to trust no Brit.
No.
No way. No way. Jose. That's the phrase I was desperately trying to think of, and I was happy when I thought of it. And it also meant if she ever was arrested and she was able to stand up to interrogation, if she had her original Nancy Wake papers, then they would put Henri under suspicion.
Ooh.
Like if she ended up giving up information, they'd be like, well, your husband must also be in on it.
Yeah.
So that's why these her Lucienne Carlier papers are much better, because if she gets caught, then Henri's going to be in the clear. No one's going to, because Lucienne's got nothing to do with Henri.
No. Lucienne's like, who's Henri?
Never met Henri.
No.
I don't know no Henri.
Sounds like a rich dude, though.
Yeah.
Bro.
Can you hook me up? I'm a bloody secretary to a doctor. But look, on one occasion, as she's going through a checkpoint with her fake papers, a particularly pedantic official was examining her papers and asking some very prying questions, including the extremely dangerous one of just how it was that a humble doctor's secretary on such a very low wage, as she undoubtedly was as a secretary, was nevertheless... to judge from the cut of her dress and her recent travelling records. So Nancy hasn't even like got a special Lucienne Carlier outfit. No. That's a mistake.
Yeah, she didn't think about that one.
Dressed like a bit of a lowly secretary, Nancy. She can't help it.
No, she can't.
She probably thinks she's dressing down.
Yeah.
She's like, this is definitely what a poor... Oh, she's not French. This is definitely what a poor secretary would wear. Yeah. She should know. She just needs to think back to her days in Australia.
Yeah, come on, Nancy. She's forgotten. She's blocked it out.
She's been living the high life too long.
Yeah.
She thinks she's in touch with the common people.
No.
But when she tries to dress like poor old Lucienne Carlier, she's still like diamond rings, a tiara. Yeah. But it's me simple tiara.
Yeah.
Like a poor person would wear. Yeah. And so the guys go, oh, you're a secretary. Why? What's with the fancy clothes? And how come every weekend you're traveling around? Because obviously that's why she's actually traveling for secret resistance business.
So telling you what.
Yeah. And so this guy's prying.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, yes, that's a good question. Very good question. I wish I should have thought of that. But to get through it, she came up with a cover story.
Yep.
She's just started blushing, and she confided in the person interrogating. She's look, full disclosure, me and the doctor that I'm the secretary for, let's just say he looks after me because we're very, very close.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
The doctor and me get up to a little bit of secret doctor business at his house on the weekends. Please don't ask any questions. It's a bit embarrassing. I don't want you to think poorly of me, but the doctor and me are definitely getting it on. And then the guy who's asking the question is like, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Of course. I apologize for prying into your business, and I do not want to get into the way of this fine doctor's chance at having some strenuous physical activity, if you know what I'm talking about. And just waves her on through.
Yeah.
And this, in essence, was one of the great advantages that Nancy enjoyed in all of her wartime activities.
Yeah.
Was the fact that your typical able-bodied man out there, your soldier, your person, your police officer, they were never suspicious of her because she was because she was a woman.
Exactly.
She was Don't
underestimate the Nance. Well, actually do, because it works better.
Yeah, so the patriarchy just sort of worked in her favour in that sense.
Yeah, the patriarchy.
They underestimated what Nancy was capable of. They were like, they'd be a bit suspicious, but then after a while they'd go like, as if we're going to worry about Nancy. Look at her. Let's get back to real. Let's go. There's a man. Let's get him.
Yeah. True.
So basically, to your standard macho German man, attractive women did not look like the enemy at all.
Nah.
And she was able to use that like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And the other advantage she has, and that's
Henri's got a lot of money.
Yes, that's the second advantage. Henri is filthy rich. Just filthy rich. But the third advantage, the one that she can't quite understand how it worked, was that even in extreme situations when one wrong answer would likely have landed her in jail or worse, she never, ever felt fear.
Yeah.
She just never panicked.
Bro, she's just chilling.
Nancy was chill as heck.
You could not tell when she was lying, bro.
Yeah. And she never knew why. She's just like, I don't know
I've been
why.
blessed by literally been blessed.
Yeah.
# blessed.
Calm as Nancy. Should be a phrase.
Yeah.
Because she was the calmest of all the people.
She was just chilling.
So these were her three main advantages. One, people underestimate her because she's an attractive woman.
Yeah.
Two,
Yep.
Henri's got so much money, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Three, Nancy don't feel no fear.
No. She's what?
Yeah.
She's like, she's a superhero.
She's basically Egyptian's own superhero right now. You can't stop her.
Literally not. Where's her weakness? Literally none.
Yeah. What is her weakness? I don't know. She likes to party.
Oh, true.
I mean, that's probably going to slow her down.
True.
But
other than that, like
she's a bit of a fibber, but that's not a weakness. That's a strength. She's turned that into a bloody strength.
Yeah.
The truth will only hold you back.
Yeah.
That's Nancy. That's what Nancy.
Henri could be her weakness, but she's turned that to her strength as well because he's got lots of money.
Yes. And look, as she's up the stakes now. She's got her secret identity. She's traveling around. She's helping. She's getting more and more responsibility in the resistance movements because she's, people come to her to solve problems.
Yeah.
And at this stage in the war, it's kind of bad news. Look, Germany's going from strength to strength.
Yep.
The Battle of Britain is now in full effect, where Germany is bombing London.
Yep.
So Britain's under attack by Germany now from the air, and so they're holding steady as best they can. And Germany has advanced into Russia, and it feels like they're not having any trouble advancing into Russia. So all the news that's coming in is Germany. Pretty sure the whole world's going to be German pretty soon. Brace yourselves for maximum German.
Yeah.
And then
Germany, because there's going to be lots of Germans. That's
Germany. To Germany.
Yeah. I tried.
But then there was a little bit of fight back. Something happened. Oh, there was the German ship, the Bismarck, was hunted down and sunk. So there was a bit of good news as well. Like things were starting to people were
There
starting
you
to
go.
fight back a little bit. Like then as the Battle of Britain raged on, London survived, even though they got seriously bombed. They almost came out a little bit stronger and more resolved
What
afterwards.
doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Then they exactly right. I think that was their theme song, and then then they sunk the Bismarcks. And they're like, oh yeah, Germany's
bad.
not indestructible.
Yeah.
And then on the 7th of December 1941. The Japanese Air Force, now Japan had teamed up with Germany, so I think it was Japan, Germany and Italy were the big powerhouses on the what we will rather biasly call the bad side. And so Japan then went and bombed the American Navy in Pearl Harbor. You might have heard of Pearl Harbor.
Yep.
Heard of Pearl Harbor?
Yep.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know exactly, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Pearl Harbor was when the Japanese...
the bombs.
Yeah, they bombed...
Yeah, see? I know the full thing.
They bombed the ships in Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And, some American lives were lost. Now, at this stage, America wasn't even in the war.
No, they were just chilling.
They were still like, here if you need, here if you need.
I'm not in this. I'm not in this. Yeah.
We'd rather not get involved in Europe's business. They saw it as a Europe thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, rather not get involved. And then Japan went, well, just in case.
Yeah.
Your Pearl Harbor situation's a little bit close to us for our liking. So we might just sneak in there and handicap you a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though you're not involved right now.
Yeah.
Hope you don't mind. And America
just in case.
America said, oh, we mind.
Yeah.
That was a foolish move.
How dare you?
How very dare you, Japan? And so America went, right, that's enough.
Stop it.
Yeah. We're in.
Yeah.
And so they declared war on Germany and its allies.
Yeah.
And Nancy says it was easily the best news they'd had all year.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, yes, America.
Yeah, the Americans.
Here come the boys. And so, look, strategically, Japan, foolish move.
Oh, yeah.
But they thought they were doing the right thing. Who knows what was going through their mind? I mean, there's conspiracy theories abound about why and how and when. But the facts are, it happened.
Yeah.
And America went, hold my beer.
Excuse you.
And they got stuck into it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their lives continued. She with her undercover work, he with rebuilding his business. Again, very vague. He's still rebuilding the business.
I don't think Nancy even knows.
I feel like the business is going pretty well, Henri. How much do you need to rebuild this business? You got money coming out the wazoo. And then one night, a new man appeared at their dinner table. A Scottish officer by the name of Ian Garrow, who had been interned at Fort St. Jean, which was where all those British resistance people were. He'd been there for quite long enough, to quote his opening remark to Nancy. And from the beginning, Nancy liked Garrow very much.
Oh, yeah.
She says he was very impressive, tall, well-built like an athlete, good-looking. Hello. This is getting a
Nancy, chill out.
and a charming gentleman.
There you go.
And he wasn't married in those days. This sounds like this might be heading down a little bit of...
Foreshadowing.
I know. What's going on
Well,
here?
I like Henri, though. Even though he could be a German spy.
Yes, I
Still
know.
don't know.
Now, Garrow explained... that he was even then in the process of setting up an escape network of safe houses in a series of converging lines across France, all leading to the Pyrenees, which was a mountain, like the mountain range on the border. Not just for the men at Fort St. Jean, but more particularly for the many Allied servicemen who had been left behind at Dunkirk. And so... what they wanted was to set up a whole network of houses. You just vagued out.
Yeah.
So
I was staring up into space for a bit.
I finally noticed when Millie vagued out. She can't hide it all the time, everyone. Millie has no idea why they're setting up safe houses, who they're setting up safe houses for.
Safe houses.
So Garrow, I'm going to take you back, Millie.
Okay.
So Garrow, the Scottish man, he said, okay, listen here. We're setting up safe houses. Maybe if I do it in an accent, you'll pay more attention.
Yeah. This is exciting.
We need all the houses there for all of the men out there at Fort St. John, and also for all the Allied servicemen left behind at Dunkirk. So what we need is a whole network of houses that lead to the Pyrenees Mountains.
Smart.
So can you help me set it up there?
Nancy's like, hell yeah.
And Nancy, as Garrow had hoped, offered her own services and that of Henri's, i.e. heaps of cash.
Yeah.
So he offered his factory on the outskirts of Marseille, where large numbers of escapees could bed down for the night before moving on to their next destination.
Yeah.
The structure of this network, as Nancy soon learnt, was essentially like a series of communist cells. So there was going to be like a long chain of houses, but you only knew about the next sort of house in the line, so you didn't know more than 2 houses down. So if your house got rumbled, you couldn't expose the whole network.
I see.
You could only expose maybe 1 or 2 houses, and people would have enough time to sort of rescatter the network. You know what I mean? So it was kind of lots of secrecy and planning, and so only a few people know the full extent of the network, I imagine, and they try to keep it as secretive as possible. And so you get to one house and you wait there until you're ready to move to the next house. And some of you will move to one house and some of you will move to another house.
So it's like sus.
Yeah, it's a whole network.
Yeah.
A lot of logistical. If they could have had an Excel spreadsheet back in the day, it would have come in handy.
Oh, yeah.
But then it would have been very easy to expose them.
Oh, yeah.
Excel expose them. So probably better that they didn't have a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I reckon.
So anyway, Nancy's like, this sounds like a great plan. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And also, here's some more of Henri's money.
Yeah.
And so, not surprisingly, some of the first people to move that they started, once they'd established the network, so they got this done very quick, Nancy style.
Oh, yeah.
And then some of the first people to move along this network were the same British officers that she had met at the Fort St. John. Now, as I said, these were gentlemen.
Oh.
And they were gentlemen to the end, good to their word.
Yeah.
So before they escaped
Yeah.
from Fort St. John, they formally renounced their vow that they would not try to escape.
Yeah.
So we met, what's his name?
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
What was his name? We met him recently. His name, I might have to pause the podcast because I will not. No, wait.
No.
His name was...
Dang it.
I have to pause. Well, I have looked and I cannot find any mention of that name of the guy we met in the bar.
It's Charlie.
Well, let's call him Chuck. Oh, no, we've already got Chucky Wake.
We've got lots of Chuckies. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, you just got Chuck on the brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, the guy we met in the bar, the English chap who we suspected might be a German spy for a while, but turned out, as far as we know, to be legit.
Yeah.
He was allowed to leave the prison because, as a gentleman, he had given his word that he wouldn't try to escape.
Yeah.
And so all of those people had been allowed to leave during the day as long as they came back at night to have a sleep.
Yeah.
And so now that they were planning to escape, they let the jail know.
Oh.
Because they're gentlemen. They went, look, I know we promised not to escape. We are hereby formally renouncing any of that. We will definitely be trying to escape, just so you know.
Yeah.
So I assume they were no longer allowed out during the daytime.
No.
But also, it didn't take them long to escape.
No.
But they were gentlemen about it. They were
I think that's
above
fine.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't want anyone to feel like they'd done anything wrong.
No.
And so they escaped, and they were then sent down the network of what was now called the Garrow Line.
Ooh.
Because your old Scotsman, what was his first name?
Ian
Garrow. And I mean,
oh no, was it Charlie?
you just got Charles on the line.
I was kidding. That was a joke.
It was a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Ian. You're right.
I know. I knew it was Ian. I was just making a joke.
Solid.
Yeah.
And so they went down the Garrow line. Could have been called the Nancy line. Whatever.
No, I reckon Garrow line's fine.
Yeah. So the Garrow line, as it had become known, in early 1941, Garrow himself disappeared from the fort. But instead of passing along his own line, so he didn't go down the network, he stayed in Marseille to oversee operations. And he remained in constant touch with Nancy, and they
Yep.
kept moving people along the line.
Smart.
Feels like a secret romance is definitely brewing between your young athletic Scotsman and you go get a Nancy Wake.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
choose to believe that is not the case.
Yes. And so, look, that's all the time we've got. Nancy now has established an escape network of houses and some of her own chalets that she's got. I mean, she's got heaps of them.
Yeah.
She's got heaps.
Henri just keeps him coming.
Yeah, it was a wedding present, a birthday present,
Christmas
an anniversary
present.
just a surprise welcome home present. She's like, he keeps, come in the car, Nancy. He's like, is it another chalet, Henri?
He's like, how do you know?
I wanted to surprise you. Every time we go for a drive, it's another chalet. Henri, you need to broaden your scope of gift giving. I mean, I love a chalet.
Yeah.
I love a chalet. But how many chalets can I have? I can't even remember what the first chalet looked like, Henri. No. We didn't even stay there. You showed me the outside. We got back in the car and you took me to another chalet.
I love Henri.
He's like, Nancy, I just love to buy you chalets. Anyway, I got to go rebuild the business. You know what I'm like. What do you do, Henri? Anyway, off I go. Rebuilding the business. What business, Henri? Oh, look, another chalet for you, my darling. All right, Henri, off you go.
Get out of here.
He's so dodgy.
I know.
But generous.
Yeah.
Generously dodgy.
I think Nancy likes a bit of dodge.
Oh, if he was not dodgy, they would not be married.
No.
She'd
go
be
for
like,
Ian.
Yeah. Gotta get some garrow on the side.
Yeah.
I like an Henri sandwich with some garrow on the side. That's Nancy's favourite meal. Or is it? I'm just speculating.
Yeah, no, I don't agree, but just for the lols.
yes.
Keep your options open.
But she is now just shuttling people out of the country.
Yeah.
I'm going to say,
Oh,
if she was trying to annoy the Nazis, she's starting to succeed.
I think she might be.
Yeah. She vowed
Yeah.
to...
Did she vow?
She vowed.
Oh, makes sense.
She made a vow.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Yeah.
She saw them Nazis being Nazis.
Oh.
She said,
Nazis being nasty.
Yeah. If I can annoy them Nazis in any way, I vow that I will.
Yeah.
And she bloody is.
Oh, she is.
It's happening.
Bro.
And let's see how much this can continue. Will it all come unstuck?
No, because it's Nancy Wake.
Will Nancy and Ian find love on the Garrow line?
Definitely not.
Will Henri's dodgy business practices come to light? So many questions unanswered. What will happen now that America has decided to throw themselves in the ring?
America.
There's a lot of stuff happening here in World War II.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out more of it when we come back for another episode of Yonks Ago. Yo.